good morning, and welcome to the Voices of the Motherland show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. Karibuni sana, rise and shine, as we always say. That is just one way to start your morning. And of course, I am super thrilled to really get to interact with the family. And before I even get to, of course, continue with the show, at Angela Morris, welcome to the Voices of the Motherland show. And you've said a grand rising Kame. Good morning to you too, at Angela Morris. I do trust that you are doing okay. And of course, to those who are tuning to the Black Hot Fire Network, remember we are very much, of course, pleased to interact with you. My name is Kame, and this is the Voices of the Motherland show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network. And today we actually do have a very sensitive topic that we are going to talk about. Of course, on a daily basis, every topic we get to talk about, it definitely has to be sensitive. And today we are going to take a look at, the tribal brainwash. Have you ever felt like, let me just ask this question before even I get to continue with the show. Have you ever felt like, your tribe is making you maybe lose that confidence in public? Have you ever felt like that? And of course, as we'll get to proceed with the show, we'll get to venture more into that, because I believe this is a topic that you need to discuss. Let me repeat the question. Have you ever felt like the tribe that you're coming from is making you maybe feel less valuable when you get to interact with other people? And that is why today we are going to talk about brainwash. That is the tribal brainwash. It is here in Africa. It is affecting us, not only in Africa, but I do believe that in the diaspora also you are going through that. So stick by, and this is the Voices of the Motherland show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network. And remember, you can get to log in at www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. And once you are logged in, you can proceed and get to take a look at some of the videos that you did get to miss. You can also get to like these videos, share these videos. It is allowed. Knowledge shared is something great at the end of the day. And still, when you are logged in, you can proceed and get, that is to support the stream. We also get to appreciate that. You can support the stream at Cash App Mr. Black Hot Fire. And you can proceed and donate at www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. And remember, still, we have not even finished, with the packages on the Black Hot Fire website. You can also get to enjoy the amazing music that gets to play right there on the Black Hot Fire Network media for the 21st century. And also remember, we do have other shows as well that are there on the Black Hot Fire Network. My name is Kalme. It is on the 26th of January, and the year is 2021. How has the year so far so good been for you? As for me, I can say that this year I really have actually shared off a lot of, let me say the word, let me use the word, some tantrums in me. I can say that I have evolved, positive voice, I have evolved. I've been able, to like say a no where it's supposed to be a no. I've been able to do the things that I thought I wouldn't be able to do. And I don't know if it's a maturity, no lady wants to be told that, yeah, you are aging or something like that. But I don't know if it's a maturity, but if it's maturity, I'm grateful because it is turning me to be a better person. Let me know, how is your January 2021 so far? And for those who did have the resolutions to go hit the gym, okay, feed us. How is it turning out for you? Have you lost or burned all those calories? Everyone comes about with resolutions for the year that they want to burn calories, they want to achieve certain shape and so on. Let me tell you one thing: you do not get to hurt yourself that much if you have an issue with your body. But I can keep on telling you that it is good to watch your weight. It is good to try and of course eat products that is I'm talking about the likes of vegetables, a lot of fruits. They'll actually help you in keeping fit. This is the Voices of the Motherland show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network. And of course, I'm super thrilled to interact with the family. I have actually been looking forward to this. But before we even get to venture, that is, before we even get to venture to the main topic of the day, here is something. Did you know about the Namji dolls in Cameroon? Yeah, of course. Maybe you didn't get to know that. But let me tell you something. I'm actually going to share their images later on. But this is something so unique about the Namji dolls, and I'm sure for those who are into traveling, you have perhaps seen this in museums. You have perhaps seen this in, something that is just dealing with culture. And the Namji dolls, their origination is from Cameroon. You know, I love promoting African dolls. They are so unique in some way. And some people might be like, the moment you have these dolls in your house, some people will be, giving you that ish look. That is also part of the brainwash against your tribe. That you feel like if I get to accessorize my house with these type of certain African dolls, then maybe I'll be told that I'm practicing some type of rituals and so on. Let me tell you one thing. There isn't something as being proud of your heritage. And that is why we're just briefly talking about the Namji dolls before we get to proceed. I mean, there is a lot of brainwash, apart from even the tribal brainwash, whereby you feel like I'm a Kisi or I'm a Luo, or I'm a Luya or I'm a Luo, and I feel like the Nandi tribe isn't of equivalent to mine. We are going to take a look at that. Why is the tribal brainwash on the rise in Africa? But before that, we are talking about the Namji dolls, all the way from Cameroon. If I get to stumble upon this, trust me, I wouldn't mind to accessorize my house with this. And you can also get them in auction houses if you don't get to be much of a travel person. But let me just repeat this. Namji dolls, they are also known as Dowayo dolls. So they're all the same. Namji or Dowayo. These are just fertility dolls. And of course, they get to come from the Namji tribe in Cameroon. And there's a reason as well we are talking about these dolls. Not only the fact that they get to play the fertility part, but I love for a fact how African they are, how they are still preserved. I mean, this is something that has been passed from one generation to another. So they are, of course, carved from the rosewood doll, which means that this is something that can stay on for quite a long time. And why would you get yourself a Namji doll? Why would you just go and get this African doll and get to accessorize your house with it? Here is one thing. Namji dolls are fertility dolls. Well, don't give me that look or don't give me that questioning look. But this is according to the Namji community in Cameroon. One thing that I love about culture is that each community has something that keeps pushing them on a daily basis. It has something that gives them a sense of belonging. And I'm talking about the Namji dolls in Cameroon. This is something that has been passed down from generation to generation. They still believe in it, which means that it has worked. So, one of the reasons that you can't get to use the Namji dolls is that it is a fertility doll and it is given to brides during a wedding ceremony. So if you are a girl and you want, or of course, if you want to be married to someone from Cameroon, as a lady, be prepared to be given a Namji doll because it gets, of course, it is considered to be a fertility doll. And also, they are considered to have some charms, that get to enhance the bride's fertility. So here they say, I think in Cameroon, they do not have to deal with the issues with maybe a lady isn't able to get a child and things like that. But I believe whenever you have a Namji doll with you, then you get to sort that one out. Also, another advantage of you having a Namji doll, this of course not only works in Cameroon, but I believe it works everywhere in the world. So, of course, be patient a little bit. I'm going to share that image with you. It is also believed to ward off evil spirits. So, if I know it is very African of us to believe like if something goes wrong, There's that neighbor somewhere. There's that neighbor in the rural village who didn't look at me with good eyes. It is very much actually African to be like that. Personally, every time I get to go to the rural places and I get to interact, with my family, that is extended family, most of the time you're being warned, do not go to so and so's house because he or she is believed to be bad omen. He or she is believed to worsen your day. Maybe, some people have gone to the rural places. I'm not against going to the rural places, but some people have gone to the rural places and maybe gotten involved into an accident. I'm not saying that most of the time it happens like that, but the way people get to talk about it, they'll be like, it is because you visited or interacted with so and so, and that is why it did get to happen. So you can get to have yourself a namji doll. You can get, they say that you can get to, put it in your pocket, put it in your purse, and walk around with it. I believe it gets to protect both in terms of warding off evil spirits. Also, it can get to ward off the evil spirits that cause infertility. So here again, we are talking about how one community gets to believe into something. This community has not been brainwashed, or rather, this tribe has not been brainwashed. And when I'm talking about brainwash, I am talking about the Western culture. It will even sound like a song that we get to sing this on a daily basis. You don't even get to really, dig deep and get to understand, yeah, this is actually happening. But the Namji community has not been affected by westernization and tossed away the Namji doll. They haven't gone, of course, to that gyna for help in terms of infertility. They believe in that Namji doll, and I'm telling you, one community's sense of belief, or one thing that gets to bind the community together, if you get to intervene in this, it is definitely not going to end good for you. Also, another advantage over the Namji doll is that it gets to eases the difficulties in labor. So I think what I'm thinking here is that the Namji women, women from the Namji community, that their labor is quite taken care of. Unlike other communities whereby, I've been hearing stories that people are saying that actually been hearing stories from my friends whom we studied with. They're like, oh, their labor is just quite hectic and things like that. But if I had known about the Namji doll, perhaps I would have given them. But one thing that I can say is that if you get to believe in something, if you get to believe in something and you get to actually feel like it is working for you, then go ahead and believe in that. That was the Namji dolls, all the way, of course, from Cameroon. And let me just go ahead and share this as we get to proceed with the show. Remember, today we are talking about tribal brainwash, and I'm just sharing this article about one community that has not left its way of life. It is still stuck to that. They believe that they do not need no gynecologist to tell them in terms of fertility. They believe that whenever they do have this doll, because it is something that has been passed to them. Because as a mother, you can either give it to the wife of your son, or you can't give it to your daughter. Let me just share this image of the Namji doll as we get to proceed with the show. Remember, this is the Black Hot Fire Network media for the 21st century. And let me know, of course, your views regarding this. This is the Namji doll. I don't know if you have seen a Namji doll, but yeah, I think I've seen it. But I wasn't curious then, I'm like, yes, I can say at some point back then in campus, I had some brainwashing me because I didn't get to find that someone who would tell me the reality of life. And even if we get to sit down and get to debate about the reality of life, we're still gonna take a whole day. But what I mean to say here is that you need to get your facts right. You need to get the right information. These are the dolls that I'm talking about, all the way from Cameroon. And sometime back, we'll get to talk about this. That is the Namji community, perhaps tomorrow on in terms of a history. This is the Namji doll. You can see they come in different shapes, sizes, designs. And I told you earlier on that they are carved from the rose wood. So there's something that you wouldn't mind having in your home. But of course, nevertheless, this is the Voices of the Motherland show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. And my name is Kami, and we are taking a of course, a musical a break. But when we will be back, before we even get to venture on the main topic of the day, when we will be back, I'll tell you how we Kenyans have actually ashamed ourselves. I don't know if you have logged into BBC, if you get to watch what is trending maybe in the BBC in terms of African news. But recently in Kenya, we did have a very own, let me use the word in quotes, James Bond, because that is what they called her. Taking it out, being put on the limelight. One thing, if you're put on the limelight, if you're put on the BBC, then higher chances that the world is going to watch, or rather the world is going to really, be interested. Who's this person are high? So of course, take by, because we are going to take a look at how one lady, actually, she does have a great criminal record, but she came ahead, lied to the eyes of every Kenyan. And right now on Twitter, we actually owe people from South Africa, people from Tanzania, and just every other Nigerian, just African countries, we owe them an explanation, because Kenya at large, we have actually ashamed ourselves. Stick by and keep it the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. And of course, we'll get to proceed with the show. At Dr. Avaxi, all right, that is all good. I'm still pressing on. Doesn't get to affect me. Let me just share this short video as you get to proceed with the show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network. All right, so this is one lady. to the Voices of the Motherland show right here on the Black Fire Network Media for the 21st century. And of course, when you took that short break, I was talking about how Kenya, we have actually ashamed ourselves, all over the world. Of course, the short clip that I have just shared was about a young, not young, a lady. She claimed to be she claimed to be that a private investigator who is actually being hunted by thieves. Now my concern here is if you are a private investigator, most of these people do not want the public to know about them. But this lady went ahead, even in the eyes of the that is of the world, and got to talk about what she does for a living. And as if that is not okay, of course, we Kenyans got to believe that because we thought that she was bringing, the trophy home. But shock unto us, this is a lady who has a very high criminal record. She has actually been on the DCI wanted, that is want list, for quite a long time now. But of course, as the story has it, the DCI already has her. But just to say this, that is what I meant to say. If you want to that publicity, try and take a look at the repercussion, because this is one lady who is actually working for the top politicians in the country, and we all know about private investigators. They say that actually the slow amount of money that you can get to pay them is 500,000. That is low amount, that is the little amount of money that you can get to pay a private investigator. So I can imagine, with all this political turmoil that is almost taking place in the country, because right now many politicians are being affected, by the politics that are going to come place. So they get, of course, to hire these private investigators as one way of feeling secure. But all in all, what I'm trying to say is that trust me, if as much as you are looking for publicity, remember to be that is to take a look at some of the precautions that do get to affect you. We are still taking a short break. I'm just adjusting something, and we'll get to get back right to you right here on the Black Fire Network. Welcome back to the Voices of the Motherland show. It is all about you staying woke, not to put yourself, in a quagmatic situation. Anyway, moving on from that, let's take a look at, of course, this the topic of the day in terms of, a tribal brainwash. Let me give you an example. For example, in Kenya, we are at war in Kenya. Because I don't know how many of you do get to read Kenyan politics, but of course, I wouldn't blame you considering that a lot of people are in the diaspora. But I get to realize this, that during the political campaign, our very own leaders who just stood at that podium and gets to incite members of a certain tribe to feel low, to incite members of their tribe, sorry, to incite members of their tribe to make other people to feel low, to make other people feel like they do not have a say in that election. It has been happening. It is still happening. We are heading to election come the year 2021. And I'm telling you, things are not easy. You know, let me take you back in the year 2007 in Kenya. We did have the post-election violence that did take place in the country. And talking about post-election violence, thousands of people were displaced. Thousands of people were killed. But of course, on the mainstream media, the numbers were definitely altered. And just to continue on that, it is because one tribe felt like it is better than the other. I'm talking about the Kikuyu community. Of course, I do not have anything against any tribe, but this is just what happened, that the Kikuyu community felt that the Luos, the Kisis, the Nandis, there was also there was also a clash between the Kisis and the Nandis, whereby one tribe was feeling like the other tribe should go back to their ancestral home. And this is someone you have been living with for the longest time. This is someone who has been your neighbor. This is someone who has been picking your kids from school. This is someone you have been going for help. But come the election period is when you come to realize that me and this person here actually do not have anything in common. Tribal brainwash in Africa is on the rise. Just yesterday, we were talking about the situation in in Ethiopia, whereby Ethiopia itself experienced over 141 ethnic, tribal, and of course religious clashes, and thousands of people have been killed, and the number keeps increasing on a daily basis. And if I continue giving examples, we also do have the likes of Rwanda. We did get to experience the Hutus and the Tutsis killing one another just because the Germans came and, of course, got to brainwash them and tell them that one tribe is, of course, believed to be, has that leadership qualities as opposed to the other. So in return, they had to kill to get what was rightfully theirs, in quotes. We've seen how westernization has brainwashed a lot of people. We've seen how westernization has made the youths to indulge into drugs, to indulge into homophobic behavior and relations. Tribal brainwash. We've seen how our very own politicians, we've been talking about this terminology in Kenya, we call it the Mau Mau. Perhaps you've heard about the Mau Mau freedom fighters. And in terms of the Mau Mau, it is all about Mzungu aende Ulaya, Mwafrika apate uhuru. Let me repeat this. Mau Mau is all about Mzungu aende Ulaya, Mwafrika apate uhuru. Just to say that the white man needs to go back to his home such that the black man can get his freedom. And this certain group actually did a lot for the people. We've seen how we get to celebrate them during, of course, the day set aside for the heroes. But I believe enough is not done. What I'm just trying to say here is that tribal brainwash is on the rise. We still do have, as much as the Mau Mau did get to happen, place that is the white man going back to his land and the black man getting his freedom. We do not have our freedom because we have seen our very own, our leaders whom we have put into power go ahead and get to brainwash the youths, get to tell them otherwise of themselves, get to give them, a few things. For example, you're given $10 for today, and you get to think that $10 is a lot of money just because you're not working. And you go ahead and get to kill your neighbor. That is the tribal brainwash that I am talking about. Tribal brainwash has been brought about by westernization because we've been talking about, each community believing in themselves. each community getting to interact with one another. But it has reached a point whereby people no longer believe in that because tribalism, tribal brainwash, I can get to call it tribalism. It is one thing that has hindered several positive decisions, that were meant to change Africa. It is one thing that has hindered we as Africans going ahead. And let's just get to talk about some of these effects. What has this brainwash done to us? We've had the issue with the civil protest and unrest amongst us. We've had issues with disorders in our community. People get to devalue others. People get to feel like so and so because he or she is coming from maybe a community that gets to live. Let me use the example, maybe in one of those rural places, and it has not been looked up to by the government. They get to feel like because my community has been in leadership for the longest time possible, then it is my role to look down upon everyone as much as I want to. Because at the end of the day, they're not equal to me. Perhaps you have experienced this. Perhaps you've walked into a mall and you have felt like, I think we are not even talking about colorism here, but we are talking about tribalism. And you felt like the way a person approached me actually made me feel less of a human. Or maybe the way the cashier treated me made me feel less of a human just because of how I'm dressed, just because of the representation, that is the tribe that I am representing. Tribalism has led to terrorism, and tribalism goes hand in hand with religion. We have witnessed, the issue with terror activities on the rise in Africa, because not only in Africa but also in the diaspora, because one tribe believes that we have to do away with the Maasais. We have to do away with the people from maybe let me use the example of the Shona people, for example, because we believe maybe they lack something that we have, or we believe that we have something that they lack. Tribalism has led to the emergence of a lot of coup d'etats. As much as you can say that most of these coup d'etats get to happen whenever we feel like the leader is not acting right, or the leader is definitely pulling the economy of the country behind. But take a look at what happened in Rwanda. A coup d'etat did get to happen. I remember the president of Rwanda, as he was just boarding his plane, he didn't even get to leave his compound before his plane was pulled down. This is all due to tribalism. And after that, we got to see that some targeted people were killed, and that was the rise of the genocide that did take place in Rwanda. It has led to extortion. You get to go to these public places, you get to want your services, social services given to you, but you're told, just because you're coming maybe from this and this tribe, your case will actually take some time for it to be had to, or your documents will actually take some time because your tribe has this and this type of a CV, and perhaps you have to pay some money for you to get your services. It has led to fraud and forgery in our society. Tribalism has led, trust me, the issue with the use of drug abuse, drug smuggling among us ourselves. You've seen on a daily basis that, for example, let me use this example that, of course, Nigerians I'm not blaming them. We get to blame how the situation has actually got them to be. But in Nigeria, we've seen that from time to time, maybe around the world, there was even places like Dubai some time back, I believe last year, that Nigerians were denied to work because they were believed that they were indulging in criminal activities. Of course, not only Nigerians, but everyone around the world gets to interact in criminal activities. But it reached to a point whereby they were, even if you are applying for a work, they say except of Nigerian origin. That is still some form of tribalism. That because I'm coming from so and so country, from such and such country, and maybe as some few individuals have been doing this, then I get to be denied the services that I do want to. It has led to looting. These are some of the things that have led to tribalism, that have led to the brainwash, that people get to wake up in the morning and they get to believe that I am more important. I am more important than so and so. We've taken a look at the issue with resource control. For example, in Nigeria, there has been the issue with ethnic, of course, ethnic conflicts from time to time in Nigeria. Ethiopia itself, to name, I can imagine the situation that people are going through in these camps on a daily basis. That's even them getting to access, as some social amenities, sometimes it is denied to them because one tribe gets to believe that it is better than the other. The brainwash of westernization, such that they can continue looting resources, such that they can continue, making us fight one another. Take a look at religion. They came with religion because religion has also contributed to this. I've seen places, I've seen churches in the country whereby members of a certain tribe, they're not allowed to go there because the way that they get to believe, that is their way of worship, is not considered righteous. And religion has actually, they come with religion. This same religion, they have used this religion to kill, to rape, and do all the forms of inhumanity in our society. Because at the end of the day, they tell you that God forgives. I'm not trying to change your way of thinking, but I'm trying to make you realize the brainwash of tribalism that we are going through with, not only in Africa, but around the world at large. It is an issue, and of course, you can let me know how it is getting to affect you. And all right, I didn't get to understand this. I see at Papa J, Papa Jai, or something like that. Okay, I just didn't get to understand what you are talking about. But anyway, just to continue with this, we are talking about how brainwash has highly affected us. And of course, we are almost coming to the end of the show, but we are talking about how that is tribalism in short, the issue with the brainwash has affected us. Take a look at the number of homophobic behavior that you do have amongst us. It is on the rise. Just because you believe that you are coming from a better tribe than the other. Remember, this is the Voices of the Motherland show right here on the Black Fire Network, media for the 21st century. And of course, today we are talking about tribal brainwash amongst us. It is something that gets to happen. It is something that we have experienced on a day-to-day, of course, basis. It is something that, of course, we should get to shun because it is affecting us on a daily basis. It has actually made people not to believe on themselves. And of course, if you did get to miss some of these shows, remember you can get to log in at www.blackoutfirenetwork.com, and you can proceed and get to take a look at some of the videos that you did get to miss. You can also proceed and take a look at some of the episodes, that is the episodes, videos, and shows, just to name, that you did get to miss. You can also proceed and get to share some of these of course with your friends and your families. And still on that, you can get to read some of the blogs that are on the Black Fire website. You can also get to enjoy the music. You can also get to contribute to support the network. We highly appreciate that. And of course, we are taking a short musical break, but when we're back, we'll be taking a look at what is happening in Africa at large. And remember, the topic of the day was all about tribal brainwash that is affecting us in the society. That you have to dress a certain way because the society gets to think that you need to dress this to fit into the society. That is the brainwash. Be proud of where you are coming from. Be proud of who you are in the society. And that way, we will be continuing to preserve our culture. Let's take a short musical break, and when we will be back, we'll continue with the show right here on the Voices of the Motherland show, right here on the Black Fire Network, media for the 21st century. Welcome back to the Voices of the Motherland show right here on the Black Fire Network Media for the 21st century. I do trust that everyone is doing okay on this, of course, Tuesday morning on the 26th of January. Earlier on, we were talking about tribal brainwash that is happening in Africa. It is on the rise. And moving on from that, remember we do have the Tanzanian tour that is set to take place come this year, that is the month of April. And earlier on, I was just telling you how that we have, of course, come that is to the end of the month of January. So, of course, you need to join us and get to travel with us on the tour to Tanzania, because we do have some great and amazing things that you can get to indulge in as a person, apart from sightseeing, because also that is a very good activity that you can get to indulge in. You can also get to learn the culture of the people. You can also get to note down a few things about Africa, because Africa has a lot of things that it gets, of course, to show you about. I mean, it has a lot of things that you can get to venture on once you get, of course, to travel with us. And of course, moving on from that, let's take a look at the situation that is happening, of course, in Madagascar. Of course, let us get to pray with the people of Madagascar, because right now there is they are experiencing hunger, and for some people right now, not even for some people, a majority of the people in Madagascar, they get to eat sand and insects to survive. I mean, that is how crazy it is in Madagascar. And of course, I'm going to share with you some images regarding that in the southern part of Madagascar, people are surviving on sand, insects, the likes of tamarind, for them to survive. I mean, it is the only food source that they can get to survive on. And I just hope that that the government of Madagascar. Let me just share this with you. As much as it is disturbing, as much as we are talking about some of the issues that are affecting us, I do believe that also the issue with hunger is affecting us. Take a look at some of these images. Of course, it is disturbing that it gets to happen. I just wouldn't want to focus on the one with kids. But this is the situation right now in Madagascar, that they are surviving on this. So be grateful with actually the situation that you find yourself in, because some people in Madagascar are wishing to be in our situation. This is what they get to survive on. This is what they get to eat on a daily basis. Hunger is on the rise in Madagascar. I do not honestly know what the government is doing in terms of providing aid to the people of Madagascar. Because if they get to survive, they get to even survive on sand. Can you imagine eating sand for you to feel better, for you to go through another day? Can you imagine eating just tamarind? The last time I tasted tamarind, it's a little bit more like a lemon. So you have to survive on that for you to feel better. Of course, we are hoping for a better Madagascar, because if anything, these are our people. This is Africa. This is happening, of course, in Africa. These are our people, and something needs to be done to them. We've seen, of course, aid, of course, being taken to this, that is to the people of Madagascar, but still that is not enough. I believe it reaches a point whereby the government even gets to be tired, or the government gets to misuse some of these funds, and they get to let the people to survive for themselves. That is the situation that is happening in Madagascar. And remember, Madagascar is known for its unique, of course, beaches. It has some good, of course, serene environment that you can get, of course, to go there. It has some good tourist destination that you can get to tour once you are in Madagascar. But then again, like any other country, due to the issue whereby due to the issue that the government gets to misuse resources, that they do not get to live a better life. That is the situation that is happening in Madagascar. And I'm just hoping that it is high time. Of course, it is the same situation that is happening also in Kenya, that the government doesn't get to give relief food on time to the people of the country. And of course, let's take a look at also what is happening in Africa at large. Let's take a look at what is happening in Africa at large. In Africa at large. In Africa right now, we do have a situation that is happening in Uganda. Let me take you all the way to Uganda. That right now, Uganda and the soldiers have been told, of course, to leave Bobby Wine's house. That is some good news. I can say that is some good news. But you're hoping that he's not going to be charged. If anything, Bobby Wine has gone through a lot under this house arrest, and we even saw him, of course, going through house arrest with a young kid. And of course, he has not left his house since the results were announced. So that is since the presidential, of course, election results were announced, and I'm talking about this year. But of course, he is going to address the nation, of course, shortly. We are eagerly waiting for us. But let us not be in this situation whereby, as a leader, what is this that you are fearing? If you believe that you won the election the right way, then you should let the opposition leader to have their way out. You should let, of course, the opposition leader to go ahead and live his life the way he or she is supposed to live. But that is the situation in Uganda. We are seeing some positivity there, but we are hoping that something better is set to take place. Let's take a look at what is happening to Sierra Leone. And of course, remember, this is the Voices of the Motherland show, and we are almost coming to the end of the show. This is the situation that is happening in Finland. Let me just of course, in Sierra Leone. Remember, different African countries have been going through war, that is by rebel leaders. We've seen young kids actually being recruited to fight a war that they know nothing of. At the age of 6 years, at the age of 10 years, what actually do you know about war? You're just a baby who is depending on your parents for survival. But you're taking a look at what did get to happen in Sierra Leone, because in Sierra Leone right now, you do have some individuals that are being charged with some of these war crimes. My computer is freezing a little bit, but I'm getting, of course, that story for you shortly. Remember, this is the Voices of the Motherland show right here on Blackout Fire Network Media for the 21st century. And of course, I'm talking about the situation that is happening in Sierra Leone. My computer is freezing a little bit, but of course, I'm talking about Sierra Leone. Let me just get this correct for you. Right, I'm trying to get this. That it is not coming out correct. But of course, right now in Sierra Leone, we do have a situation. Of course, some of these there is warlords who are, of course, perpetrators of getting that is going recruiting young kids have finally been arrested, and of course, justice once and for all is going. That is to be done because some of these kids have missed school. Some of these kids have been forced to kill, to butcher people around, and it has not been quite an easy night or an easy day for them. That is the situation that is happening in Sierra Leone. I do believe we are coming to the end of the show, and sorry, my computer just did get to freeze, but we'll get to continue with the show. Of course, the situation that right now is happening in different African countries, we need to be together. We need to stay together because, if anything, we need a better us. We need a better Africa. We do not need to drag ourselves back, that is, to the way that our colonial masters left us in. We need to show them that we have actually changed for the better. Actually, my computer is just frozen, but let's continue with the show here. And of course, in terms of that, we need to stay together. We need to be brave together because, if anything, we need one another. And just to finalize on that, in terms of that is the tribal brainwash that is happening in Africa, we need, of course, to let that one not get into our heads because just like you believe your tribe is better than the other, that you need to get rid of that because at the end of the day you need each other. At the end of the day, it is that your neighbor who will always be there to help you with the situation that you might be in the future. And also remember, on the Blackout Fire, we do have the Blackout Fire tour that is set to take place on the month of April. Remember, you can get to join us. Remember, you can get to talk with a kid Newsome, and he'll get to direct you on the way forward regarding the tour that is set to take place right here on the Blackout Fire Network. And of course, remember also, if you did get to miss some of these shows, that is some of the episodes that have been coming live to you from the Blackout Fire, of course, studio. Remember, you can get to log in at www.blackoutfirenetwork.com, and you can proceed and get to take a look at some of these videos. You can also get to share with your friends and families. You can also get to take a look at some of the blogs that are lined up on the Blackout Fire Network. We also do appreciate that. And also, you can get to enjoy the music, that is the live music. We have been talking about feeding your soul the right type of food, and that is what you got here on the Blackout Fire Network. And of course, to finalize on that, you can get to donate to support the stream at www.blackoutfirenetwork.com. My name is Kami, and this has been the Voices of the Motherland show right here on the Blackout Fire Network Media for the 21st century. And of course, I am wishing you a better and a productive day ahead. And remember to keep it the Blackout Fire Network Media for the 21st century. Spikes, kwa nini imefreeze? Naitwaje? Kwa StreamYard.
If you freeze it, end it, then you start it, you just end it.
I've tried. absolutely we do need unity. I do trust that you've had an amazing day, and sorry for that slight hitch that you did have back then there. My name is Kami, and this has been the Voices of the Motherland show right here on the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. And I'd love to finish the show with this Kenyan saying that says, "He who refuses to obey cannot command." Let me repeat that. He who refuses to obey cannot command. And also, never talk about a rope in the house of a man who has just been hanged. Let me repeat that. Never talk about a rope in the house of a man who has just been hanged. Keep it the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. And remember, we can get to interact on other shows as well. I have really appreciated interacting with the family. To those who are watching, to those who are listening to the show, we really get to appreciate you joining us here on the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. Do have a great day, and of course, till then, we'll get to interact on other shows that do get to air right here on the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century.